Welcome to this land talk. I'm excited to share this video about the land change in Niederuster. I'll be interviewing my father, who has been a resident and worker here since 1989. He's witnessed the transformation firsthand that Niederuster has experienced, and will share it with you today. Enjoy! Can you describe the way the place used to look?
I moved to Uster in 1989. At that time, there were a little over 25,000 people living in Uster, and now it is over 37,000. In 1989, the metro train started running to Uster with a direct connection to Zurich. We first lived on Wilstrasse from 1989 to 2006. Wilstrasse is halfway between the city center and the Greifensee. The bus route ran in front of the house on a very narrow street. There was a milk truck which stopped by every day to sell dairy goods. Behind the apartment were Schrebergardens, and in the near distance there was a field with cows. Quite a few people living in the apartment worked at the Zellweger industrial complex, which was not so far away. I worked for the electronics and network company Ascom Zellcom, which had been a part of Zellweger in Uster. Where we live now, in Niederuster, there has also been significant changes over the past 25 years. Previously, we could look out from our row house to see the Alps. There was a field with many apple trees across the street with cows grazing.
How has the place changed in the last few years?
All of the things which I had explained had existed no longer exist, even those things from 2000. Uster is now a beloved suburban city for commuters and those working in Zurich and wanting to raise a family. Behind apartments where we lived on Wilstrasse is now a major road with an oversized traffic circle. New apartments have been built along this road. Only a small swath of field still exists in the near distance, but without cows, and it is expected that a new road will be built extending out from the traffic circle heading towards Monkaldorf. In general, all the intersections which had a traffic light has been replaced by traffic circles. All of these are overdimensioned to support the local bus routes. Where we live now in Niederuster, the area has been rezoned to allow for high-density building. With what used to be a quiet green walk to the Greifensee is now a walk through the apartment buildings on either side of the street. Quite a few trees have been cut down in our surrounding area. Luckily, the Greifensee is still surrounded by farms and protected nature zones. The Zellweger company, which quite some time ago had been a textile manufacturer and then a textile machine manufacturer, has gone out of business, and the Zellweger Park has been repurposed for high-rise apartments and office buildings. Some very nice and some quite ugly, as is the building from the supposed star architects Herzog de Meuron. The center of town has also changed a great deal in the last 35 years. Almost all of the interesting architecture in the center of the city is gone, having been replaced by modern high-rise buildings. Very little has been preserved. I personally feel like the current look is somewhat heartless. The city wishes to have a population of 42,000 by 2035, so I expect a good deal more trees and green space will be taken over.
What did you used to do there before it changed?
When we first moved to Uster, it was easy to find a spot somewhere along the Greifensee which was not occupied. It was also easier to take a short drive downtown. You had to go into town for a large shopping. We would also go into the forest near Niederuster for a walk.
What are some of the things that you can do there now?
I've always used public transportation where possible. Right now, I almost exclusively use either my bike or use public transportation when shopping in town. The stores have migrated out to the periphery of Uster, so shopping is much easier. For a walk, we usually go somewhere further out from the city with our bikes. The trails are crowded and the forests have been cut back quite some bit here in Uster.
Thank you for sharing your detailed observations and experiences of Uster's transformation over the years. It's fascinating to hear how the town has evolved to a bustling suburban area, reflecting broader trends in urban development. As Ooster continues to grow and develop, it will be interesting to see how the balance between urban expansion and the preservation of natural spaces is managed, especially with the projected population increase. I look forward to seeing how Ooster will adapt and change in the coming years, hopefully retaining some of its unique character while embracing new developments.